Hey guys, and welcome back to Kellie TV. Wow, so much went on in the Pretty Little Liars spring finale that I'm still trying to process it all. So let's go over what happened. At the end, I'll tell you what my theories are about who A really is. So we learned a lot of things in this episode, and some of the things that we learned were we found out certain people who we had thought might be A really aren't A, and I think that's helpful because it's helping us narrow down who A might really be. We got closer to that, but of course we didn't find out yet again in one of the finales who A is. That's okay. Next season, I think if that's the final season, obviously we're going to find out who A is, and it'll be well worth it because we spent a lot of time trying to find out who this person is. So it starts out with them in Philly, the liars in Philly, and they met up with an unexpected person, and you guys are really perceptive because a lot of you said it's going to be Noel who they ran into, and you were totally right. We haven't seen him forever. I didn't even figure that out, that it was going to be him, but a lot of you saw him in a preview that I didn't see until after you told me about it, and you realized it was probably going to be him. The interesting part about this is that Noel is good. According to Allie, he's been helping her, and he bought her a plane ticket to help her for real disappear this time because she is tired of running from A, and she wanted to get together with the liars to see if they could find out on this night who A really is. Unfortunately, we find out that they didn't piece it together, but we did, like I said, learn a lot of things. So while all this is going on, they're back at the police station in Rosewood, and they're interviewing Cece Drake, who we haven't seen forever, and police are pretty much saying that they think she killed Wilden. Did she? I'm not sure, but that's what the police think. And the police, it seems, in this show are usually always wrong and seem pretty shady, don't you think? Also, they're interviewing all of Spencer's family, but separately, and they seem to think that Spencer is the person who killed this person who is in the grave that Allie was originally in. And sadly, we didn't figure out who the dead girl is. Hopefully, we will find that out in the next season. But Allie did tell us a lot of things, like some people who she thought may be blackmailing her, because she had been getting those A texts way before the girls were getting the texts. And so what happened is that when A thought she was dead, he started texting all of her friends, or he or she. So anyway, she was the one that was getting all these texts, and so the night that she disappeared, she was trying to find out just who the person was who was texting her. So she thought it might be Aria's dad. She doesn't think it was him. She went to Jenna. She doesn't think it was Jenna. She talked to Ian. She said that he seemed too scared. But I didn't realize that Melissa and Ian, you know, obviously they were dating, but then Allie and Ian had something going on. So Melissa pretty much hated Allie. So that gives her some fuel to be someone who could be a possible A suspect. And she's always seemed shady. Anyway, don't you think it's weird when she showed up at the police station that she said that Toby came to London to tell her that Spencer was having problems and she needed to get home? I mean, what kind of high school student can afford to go from Pittsburgh or the Pennsylvania area all the way to London just to try to tell someone? Like, have you ever thought of texting or emailing? I mean, it seems kind of strange, but do you believe her? I'm not sure if that's part of the story is true or if PLL just wants us to believe that high schoolers just have tons of income and they can fly to another country whenever they want to. Anyway, but let's get back to what Allie was talking about. She took us back to the night that she disappeared and kind of what happened that night. She cleared all of the liars. We found out that Spencer was on speed, so when she drugged the other girls to make sure they weren't the ones sending the text, it didn't quite work with Spencer. An important thing in this finale was that we found that Spencer was cleared. She wasn't the one who tried to kill Allie. She wasn't the one who killed this other girl. She did kind of go crazy because she was on the drugs. She picked up a shovel, but she didn't hit Allie, and that was something super important and really good for Spencer because she could clear her conscience and know like she wasn't involved in this at all. And this was really emotional when Allie was telling them like all the stuff she went through because all the girls were crying, and it was just such an emotional episode. So we also found out that Allie believes that Ezra is a good guy. She lied to him and he believed her, and he thought she was older, and he just really felt like, you know, she was a bad person, and he had fallen for her, and then he felt terrible that she made up all these stories. She doesn't think he's A. Okay, so we've cleared him as well. So this doesn't leave very many people. So as the story progresses, Allie tells us that She thought she'd marked everyone off the list. She wasn't getting the text. She felt like, well, maybe one of the people that she talked to must have gotten the message, or they sent the message to the real A and the game was over. But sadly, she was walking back to her house and her mom was looking out the window and someone hit Allie over the head with a rock and she fell down. Now this is where things start to make like no sense, because the next scene we see Allie in a grave and her mom is shoveling and pouring dirt on top of her body. Now Allie thinks that her mom really thought she was dead, but wouldn't you like check for your daughter's pulse or something? And why is your mom burying you alive? Or even if she thought you were really dead, why is she the one burying you? Here's what I think about this. Obviously, her mom was trying to protect the person who hit her over the head. She saw who it was. So it could only be two people, in my opinion. I think it is either Jason, but I don't know what his motives would be, or, for those of you who have read the books, the evil twin. I still think they're going to go with the theory. I don't care how many people, even Allison, the person who plays Allison, Sasha, in an interview said, someone has a twin on the show, but it's not her. I don't really believe her. I think that, if not, then I think her brother has a twin. But Allie's mom was obviously trying to protect whoever it was that she thought killed her daughter. That's the only reason she wouldn't like go to the police. But since she knows who the killer is, what happens to her in the very end of the show? Hold on, we'll get to that in just a second. So the episode's winding down and I'm realizing that we haven't found out who A is. The police have gone looking for Spencer and the girls because they think that they're involved in the death of this other random girl who we don't know. And then when they get to the place, they don't see the girls. Unfortunately, someone else has made it to where the girls are. This is a masked person, a small built person. I can't tell if it's a girl or it's a guy. And at the same time, we see that Ezra is there. He's trying to intervene. He's trying to help. There's a crazy scuffle at the end, and the person has a gun, so they're super dangerous, this person in the black mask, and I really thought we were going to find out who it was. Anyhow, the person with the gun starts shooting at them, shooting at Ezra, shooting at the girls. Then finally they get the gun away, and then Hannah picks it up and points it at the person, saying, take off the mask, take off the mask. But that person is able to jump and escape and get away before they find out who it is. In the very last scenes, we realize that Ezra's acting kind of strange and talking about things being beautiful, and he's been shot in the stomach. He doesn't look very well, and he falls down and his eyes close. Interestingly enough, if you guys read a lot of the blogs about Pretty Little Liars, this was actually leaked. I had already heard that Ezra was going to get shot, and that turned out to be true. Do I think he's dead? No. I think he is alive. I have read an article from Marlene King saying that he knows a lot of information that can help the girls. He actually said he knew who the person in the mask was, and I was just waiting for him. I was like, Ezra, tell us who it is, who it is. But then he was shot, and he was like totally out of it, and he couldn't tell us anything. So no, I think he's going to be okay. I think that they just want you to think that he might be dead, but I think he's okay, and I really think that Ezra is going to get back with Arya. I think she's going to forgive him after she heard from Allie that he's a good person. So, who do I think is behind the mask? Gosh, I don't know. I still think it might be this crazy twin person. They kind of seem like they were a guy, though, so I'm not really sure. I think that now that we also know that Ian is alive and that Allie had been helping the girls all along because she pushed Ian out of the way when he was trying to kill Spencer, and she had also was there when the fire happened. She's just been there to help them, so she's definitely a good person. So now that we know that Ian is alive, and then we have Ren, we have all that NAT club, whatever that stands for. That's definitely some significance in this show. So now we have to wait until June, which really isn't that long, but it's always long when you're trying to figure out who A is, and when you can't wait to see PLL like I can't wait to see it every week. So what did you think about the episode? I know that I've left a few things out. There was just so much that happened. There wasn't a lot of filler. Oh yeah, Mona. So Mona is crazy. We already knew that. And she had that crazy hotel room that we had seen before, or motel room, with all of the shrine to Allison. And it turns out she was just playing games with Allison. I did leave that part out. But I don't have time. I could be here all night to talk about what went on. But anyway, so what do you guys think? Do you think that CC Drake killed Wilden? Do you think that Ian is part of the people who have been harassing Allie? What about Ren? We didn't hear anything from him. What about Melissa? Oh yeah, and she said that she knows who killed that girl. She told her dad, but it's another thing that we don't know. And who is the person in the mask? Who is the person that hit Allie over the head? Why did her mom try to cover for that person? Why did her mom bury her? Did her mom think she was really dead? Or Did she trying to bury her alive? What is going on? Like, there are so many unanswered questions. I will probably think of a lot more of these after I put this video up. So what are your questions? I will chime in and answer any of your comments. And what are your thoughts? I mean, gosh, I think this is the most, and like they said in the previews for this, we've learned more from this episode than we have from like any PLL episode, and yet there are so many more questions now. So overall, I was pretty happy with the episode. I was kind of upset that we didn't find out who was behind the mask. Unfortunately, at the very end of the episode, we see that Allie's mom is being dragged into like that same grave, and I don't know if she's dead, but she didn't look too good. So I think someone's trying to hurt her or kill her because they know that she knows who tried to kill Allie. So I don't think she's A. Alright, so I'm going to stop rambling. You tell me what you think about the episode. Tell me, did you like it? Thumbs up if you like this, and let me know if you want me to keep on doing more reviews weekly when PLL returns in June. And guys, I need more suggestions for shows to review, so please let me know, because what am I supposed to do in my time when PLL is not on? Okay, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Until next time, bye-bye.